Everyone's talking about slash commands in AI tools, but here's what everyone gets wrong about slash commands, and it's not what you think. In this video, we're going over what are slash commands and how can you get them working in OpenCode. What are slash commands? Best way I want to describe this is think macros, but for AI-powered workflows. So why type 200 characters for an instruction that you use all the time, where you can just use a slash command to execute the same command? Just saves you a lot of time. Yeah, but in the beginning I said, there's always some things people get wrong with slash commands. And it's a little bit like how people think of macros. Sometimes they try to base their whole workflow around the macros. And people do this as well. They try to base their whole workflow around the slash commands. And that's incorrect. Commands should be used to save you time and energy of tasks that you already do in your workflow, not the other way around. They should fit in your current workflow. That's it. If they're not working for your current workflow, you shouldn't be using that. And try things this way. It'll save you a lot more. But how do you get all these slash commands working? Well, let's have a quick look through the documentation. I'm jumping onto screen here. I'm in the OpenCode documentation. We're in the command section over here, and we're just looking at slash command. And we can see right here on screen, this is pretty much how you just write a slash command. It's slash, where the name comes from, and then your command. And it'll execute whatever you've defined. With most AI tools, it comes with a predefined set of commands, like, slash init. It'll scrape the whole code base and make its own agent MD or Claude MD, whatever AI tooling you're using at the time. But that is an example of a slash command. But we're going to be talking about how do you create your own slash commands, because I think this is where the value lies. In OpenCode, it's quite simple. You can use an MD. It's one of the versions. And it's very important that it is under .opencode/command singular. And then whatever your file name is here, test.md. And the file name is very important because that's actually what your slash will be. If you want to go further, you can actually define what agent to specify to and what model. And the reason why you might want to do this is maybe you've built up a very decent agent with a certain context where it should find certain files. Then you can always use that agent to do the specified task. How do you actually prompt in arguments? And this is a good example. So you can actually pass through arguments. So for this command, we got a component. And yeah, we're just going to create a new component. And it just specifies with this arguments tab that whatever comes after components, we're going to pass that in. So here's like the example, component space button. So button is passed as the arguments that come through. And then it will then read this, be like, hey, create a new React component named button in this case, with TypeScript support, include proper typing and basic structure. That's how generally it works. And I'll also show you that in a bit. What I want to touch on is file references. And this is actually very important for context referencing, is you can specify context files using the @ command. So you can @ a certain file, and then that will be injected to the slash command, and you can use that for context, just to save you a bit of time. There's also a JSON format that you can put into your opencode.json folder. And we can see it's pretty much the same. We've got the command, and then you've got whatever the command name is, the template, the description, the model, the agent, and then the model, which follows what we just had above in a slightly different format. So you can do both opencode.json, or you can use the markdown form. So you can do this both in your project or your global space. So depending if you want the commands to always be in your global, then you can go to your global config location, which is displayed on screen here, which is config/opencode, and then in the command folder. And if you want it on project, you just literally just put in the .opencode /command, which we're going to be doing in this tutorial clip. I'm in my OpenCode agents repo, and I'm just going to be adding the slash commands to this. So to get started, I'm going to go to my .opencode folder that I've created in this project. And I'm literally just going to, in here, I'm just literally going to make a new folder called command. And in here, we can just put a new file name. I'm literally just going to make my new file. I'm just going to call this Joker for whatever demo's purposes I think would be interesting. And I'm literally just going to build my slash command here. We've made this quick agent we made this quick prompt command called Joker. I'm literally just giving it a role, and then I'm telling you what the purpose is and what it should be basing the joke on, and what the outcome should be. And just to see that that's working, we're just going to run OpenCode in our project. And if I literally go slash here and I start typing joke, it'll come up. There's burger. And I'm going to just, I know it's good coffee. I'm just going to make a joke about coffee. My ingenuity is on another level today. You see here, we got the first joke is, why did the coffee file a police report? It got mugged. It's kind of funny. Anyway, so gave us a few different jokes that we could use to break. But now you kind of get the idea about a slash command. And we're using the arguments here that we passed in. Remember, that's what I put through. I said coffee. But maybe I want to do a bit more than just coffee. Maybe if I go Joker now and I say coffee and then I keep putting space and tea and then I would put some spaces again, and it'll pick all that up. So whatever is after the slash command, that is the arguments that pulls them. And you can see here, that's what it's doing. So that's just a quick tip. Then the last thing is maybe we want to make a file here just so we can pull it in. And that's just the reference. So I'm just going to call this a secret joke. And in here, I'm just going to put this one, make a joke about Darren's ego. I'm going to literally come back here and to see if this is working. And I'm just literally going to use that at sign. And one thing to note, you do have to exit OpenCode if you update it. It won't have the new update until you rerun it. So that's one tip. So now if I do a joker and I talk about T again, or T mistype there, we should see it brought in that reference file. So we can see that's working. So slash command should fit into your current workflow, and you shouldn't try to adapt your workflow to fit around there. That's the best way to think about it, to get the most out of it. So we talked about slash commands, but how do you go about doing this? How do you actually go about making slash command fit into your workflow, and what are some good examples? So these are some slash commands I'm enjoying right now. They will probably get updated with time. But for example, I sometimes like the slash context. It's just like, hey, get a bit of context into the memory of what some common slash commands I enjoy using at the moment. One is actually context. So I just use this if I'm starting up a new project and I just want to make some quick changes. I just say, hey, get context of this project. So it's loaded into memory. So the next things that I speak about, it has all of that going on in the background, so I don't always have to feed a context. So I just like it as a quick get to. The next one is a bit different, is commit. So I've started doing this one. So it's a little bit like it does my pre-commit checks. So it does a lint and then a build and a type check. I will give a commit message with an icon depending on a certain feature. So you'll see on screen here, I've got like feature, fix, doc, style, refactor, etc. I kind of enjoy how it works. It just kind of gives you a different indicator of actually what the commit was about very quickly with an icon. And I just enjoy seeing that, especially if you're looking at your PRs and you got multiple commits, you can kind of just trace from the icon what it actually meant. So the other one I really enjoy is clean. I enjoy really putting a lot of debugs in my code. I sometimes just don't trust what AI always gives me, and I always want to just double check it. It's working as expected, saying I actually don't want all the console logs there. And I'm always taking them out either manually or just asking AI to quickly go through and clean. And clean is a great way just to get rid of those. I've actually put this slash command called prompter. So how it actually works is I go / prompter, and then I give it the request that I'm trying to do. And this prompter actually is just based off the Anthropic bit of techniques of how to prompt AI. So it actually like builds on my request using those techniques, which is like the 10 steps, context, tone, etc. like that. And I just enjoy using this to see if I can get a bit better responses for my requests, especially if I'm being a bit lazy. But these are the 5 prompts I'm really using right now. I've got a few others I'm kind of like testing out, but we'll see where those go. So I'm not really going to talk about them in this video. Well, I've given you some examples, but if you want to build your own, I actually want to give you some tips on how to best approach them and also what to avoid. So in my testing, I would always say start simple and build on it. Always give clear instructions. Never try convoluted. If it's too convoluted at the start, if you read the first 3 lines and you don't actually know what the rest of the prompt should be about, you're probably in the wrong place. So just use good prompting techniques and you'll be fine. Well, the next thing is, if you are working with prompts, let me see if I can demonstrate that on screen, is say a prompt doesn't work. So let's see, does this actually, let's just text. All right. Another thing is, so I've made this prompt bug here, slash command, and I've purposely misspelled the model. If I go to OpenCode now, and I look for that, you can see it comes up. And if I hit it, it'll run, but nothing will happen. And that's because there's an error. And if I change that to a decent model or just take it out, it'll work again. And just to show you that, so I'll just take it out for this example. I will restart this and go in OpenCode, and I will go bug, and I'll say, and you'll see it will run now. So that's one thing to note. If it doesn't work, it's probably because you have a bug in your slash command. Last thing to note, there are some pre-built slash command, and if you overwrite them, your custom command will be the one that OpenCode will use. So just keep that in note, especially if you're using them. So lastly, I would also just say share your slash commands in your team for important workflow steps. I would say the most important steps to maybe include are maybe someone like your pre-commit checks, your error debugging techniques. So maybe you've got an error and you have some way of flow that you actually want the debugging to work. Maybe build that into a slash command so you can share it across your team so everyone can actually debug the right way. And you can also put like coding standards. So maybe some people code a certain way and the standards of it off. Instead of getting to PR, they can just use a slash command to double check that the coding standards match before they actually push it up. So to wrap up, slash commands are a great way to save you time and should fit into your workflow. You shouldn't bend your workflow around them. Remember that. So again, share them across your team to help keep consistency, improve your workflow process, and just have a better development experience in general. If you like this content, comment down below and smash that like button. Lastly, I'm building a data-driven framework to compare different AI dev tools based on real productivity with metrics, where I can measure different tools and ideas, which give us a better idea what actually matters. And we can make our decisions on metrics rather than just going on vibes. If this is something you would like to keep up to date with, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future content. And thanks for watching.